Linden is in deep debt. Speaker shuts down debate requests. Trio charged for fatal vigilante beating. And biased politics. I am Noriko Bulford, and this is Uncut News. Do you see news happening? Send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6151. The Linden mayor and town council is in dire straits with over $270 million in debt, making it unable to pay NIS contributions, wages, utility bills, and to perform services for the town. On Monday, Linden's deputy mayor Wainwright Patoon told Starbrook News that they blamed the council's financial woes on the old rates and taxes formula and the municipality's inability to raise same without the government's help. The government has yet to respond to the matter. Speaker of the National Assembly, Mansour Nadir, this morning denied a request by opposition leader Aubrey Norton for the House to debate his motion calling for an international investigation into bribery and corruption allegations made against the vice president. Nadir ruled that the Parliament cannot engage the motion during today's sitting because the allegations against Jagdeo are not of urgent public importance, according to him, calling the allegations against the vice president as mere media allegations. The Speaker has not given a date on when the motion will be put to the House or if it will ever. Nadir has also informed the opposition that he will no longer be allowing its motion on the rise in the cost of living to be presented and debated before the House. The motion was first presented to the Assembly in January. It was resubmitted the following month after some advised amendments were made. In April, just after the motion was approved, it was withdrawn by the Speaker over an issue related to one of the standing orders for the House. It was then re-allowed, only to have permission rescinded yet again. According to the opposition, they are now convinced that the government is determined to prevent this discussion from ever taking place in the House. Yesterday, 8 opposition parliamentarians moved to the High Court to challenge the constitutionality of their impending suspension from the National Assembly for their roles in the unrest there last December. The lawsuit was filed jointly one day before today's sitting of the National Assembly, at which the report could be brought up for discussion and decision. Based on the report of the Privileges Committee, Christopher Jones, Sher Duncan, Natasha Singh Lewis, and Ganesh Mahipal would be suspended from 4 consecutive sittings, while Annette Ferguson and Vince Roy Jordan would be suspended for 6 consecutive sittings, mainly because it was those two who ran off with the mace, and Tabitha Tsarabo Haley, according to the report, would be suspended for 6 consecutive sittings for cutting the communications and recording equipment for the House. The parliamentarians say they were not given a right to a hearing by the Bipartisan Privileges Committee, which has since recommended that they be suspended. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's Car of the Week. Currently on sale is the 2016 Suzuki Jimmy Sierra 4-wheel drive. It comes with regular and low-range 4-wheel drive, mag rims, new tires, TV, CD, fog lamps, bar camera, and much, much more. Buy cars for $3.4 million. All pay as low as $700,000 down with around $67,000 monthly for 5 years, and it is yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info, or visit the showrooms at Lot 171 Peterborough Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamar Street, and tell them Noriko sent you for this sweet deal. Public servants have to work 3 consecutive months before receiving their first salary. However, the National Assembly is currently debating the matter after former Minister of Public Service Tabitha Tsarabo Haley raised the motion, calling for public servants to get paid from the first month of their work. The current minister, Sonia Parag, recognized the fact that Haley tried in 2019 to do away with the rule, but was unsuccessful. It was explained that the long wait was due to the multiple government agencies the names on the payroll have to go through before they're actually added onto the government's payroll. Nevertheless, Parag assured the House that the government was addressing the issue. Yesterday, 27 new officers of the Guyana Defense Force Standard Officers Course and 40 reserve officers of the Reserve Officers Course were commissioned after successfully completing their courses, and they have now attained the rank of second lieutenants in the case of the GDF members and cadet officers in the case of the other services. Other prizes were handed out for Best Drill Student, Best Shot, and Best Fitness. Yesterday, 28-year-old vendor Dexter Samsair was charged for illegal gun possession. He was the man who was arrested on Saturday night robbing 2 young women with an antique gun in Georgetown. Meanwhile, his accomplice ran away. Sam Sear pleaded not guilty to both charges and was remanded to prison until August 9th. On Wednesday, former AFC councillor Mandy Sukhdeo, along with the father Surendra Sukhdeo and their neighbor Rian Ghani, pleaded not guilty to murdering 22-year-old Sherifuddin Mohammed Nazmuddin on the 14th of February 2017 at Ruby, East Bank, Essequibo. They were accused of beating Nazmuddin to death after he reportedly stole Mandy's purse. In February of 2021, the trio were first tried for the capital offense of murder. However, the jury could not arrive at a verdict and the case was sent for retrial. Nevertheless, this trial will commence in the High Court next Monday. 22-year-old canter driver Daniel Singh was charged with felonious wounding for pelting an officer in the eye with a brick on Saturday on the west coast of Demerara. Singh was released on $400,000 bail and will return to court on August 17th. Guyanese are known for many things, and cheapness is one of them. Thankfully, you could be cheap and still get high-quality DAF, International, Freightliner, Bedford TM, or Scammell truck parts for low prices at Powered Automotive. Visit them at Lot 1161 EE Eccles, or call them on telephone number 6970171. Save big on truck parts at Powered Automotive, the #1 heavy-duty truck parts store in Guyana. Now for today's oil update. The company responsible for the construction of Guyana's FPSO vessels, SBM Offshore, announced today that it completed project financing for the one Guyana vessel to be used for the Yellowtail project. The FPSO project cost US $1.75 billion. SBM Offshore said this was secured by a consortium of 15 international banks through a loan it expects to draw down in a phased manner over the construction period. The FPSO will be designed to produce approximately 250,000 barrels of oil per day. It will have associated gas treatment capacity of 450 million cubic feet per day and water injection capacity of 300,000 barrels per day, and will be able to store around 2 million barrels of crude oil altogether. Now for our stupid news of the day. You know what I think is stupid? Just how biased every single Speaker of the House Guyana ever had. Maybe it's built into the position or something, because it seems like every single one we've ever had was completely biased for the party of their choice. Today's action by Nadir wasn't the first time he shot down something important. In fact, Mansour Nadir has shot down just about every topic the opposition has brought up for debate, whether if it was important or not, including very relevant ones. Now he's shutting down debate on the cost of living and corruption. Now that's absurd not to call these topics important enough to debate when you consider the fact that inflation and corruption are literally the two single largest problems facing this nation today. It's literally like the source of most of our problems right now. So why on earth is it not worthy of being discussed now, and especially in the highest decision-making body in the land? Now, I could be wrong, but if you ask me, I think the debate is being stifled because Guyanese politicians don't even know how to debate. The only language they seem to speak is disrespect, intimidation, and discrimination. Rum shop behavior. That's why I call it the National Rum Shop. And if you feel like this is acceptable for your leaders to act in such a manner, then you are pretty stupid. It might not be robbery season, but the streets are still mean. That's why you need to get security for your home and business through Sheriff Security Service. Sheriff Security offers well-trained guards, armed and unarmed patrol, marine patrol, canine services. These people even got drones. Why? Because your security is their highest priority. You've seen the rest, now hire the best. Hire Sheriff Security Service today. Our Uncut News Viewers Poll Question of the Day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. Yesterday, I asked, has inflation caused you to change your spending habits, or are you just paying more for the same thing? KJ says I'm paying more for the same thing as I always do. If you need it, then you got to buy it. Same here, buddy. Same here. Calvin Tappan asked if I know when the government will be giving out the public assistance. Well, which one? Because, the state gives away the monthly pensions, but it really depends on which one you're talking about. So, before we get to tonight's question, you can multiply your cash by selling Digicel Top-Up. This is a legit way you can earn some extra money at your business or to supplement your current hustle. Become a top-up vendor quick and easy by linking with Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. Now for tonight's question. Linden is in debt over 270 million Guyana dollars, which is literally just a fraction of a percent of our oil money. Do you think the government should pay off Linden's debts, or should they figure out something else? Why or why not? I want you to think about that question. Tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight, and check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Rico Bulford saying good night, folks.